Well, thank you so much for joining us for 12 News Today in AZ, live on the 12 News streaming app. We appreciate it. I'm Elson Rodriguez. And first at 7 o'clock, we are following breaking news coming out of the West Valley this morning, where we've learned a woman has died after she was hit by multiple vehicles in a Glendale intersection. What you're seeing here is a live look at that investigation right now, which is near Grand and Myrtle. Glendale police saying this woman was hit and she was found unresponsive in the roadway. This was just before 4 a.m. She was taken to the hospital where sadly she later died. It is unclear right now if any of the vehicles were aware of this involvement, aware that they hit her. But right now, the Grand Avenue area is closed between Orangewood and 57th Drive. And so if that area is part of your morning commute, you are going to want to avoid it. And we've got the closures and the backups already because of this. Let's get to our Troy Lynch with the best way for drivers to get around.
Yeah, there are a couple different ways. Obviously, you're going to want to avoid all this extensive red that you see on our map right over here. But take a look at this. So as you look on the right side of your screen, you can see I would exit either Bethany Home or Northern Ave. This is just before you get to the part where it's going to be backed up. And then you can also use 51st Ave or 67th Ave to hop back onto Grand Ave. That's probably going to be the best way to go about it. Might take you a couple more minutes, but at least you're avoiding that serious traffic. We also have a lot of traffic happening over here on the 10 heading east. This is over in the West Valley near 91st Ave. Crash pushed off onto the left shoulder of the highway. Not blocking any lanes, so that is the good news. However, just the 10 looking a little slower this morning than what we saw a little bit earlier this morning. But hey, we are an hour into rush hour officially. So here's how the valley is looking as of right now. A couple other pop-up crashes. I'm going to show you one in just a few minutes that is also on the 10 just after the stack. Allison.
Okay, Troy, thank you. Let's get to more breaking news into our newsroom now. This one is coming out of Phoenix, where fire crews are investigating two separate apartment fires, but they're just blocks apart. This is near 39th Avenue and Camelback. We're told that first fire broke out around 5 a.m. It was at a two-story complex where crews found smoke coming out of the second floor. 3 units were impacted by smoke or water damage, but thankfully no one was home, so no injuries reported there. And then about an hour later, a second fire was reported across the street. That fire started on the first floor of another complex, but that was contained before it could spread. Investigators now working to figure out if those fires are connected. But again, thankfully, no one hurt. At 7:03, let's get a check of your weather impact forecast before you head out the door. Meteorologist Ginger Jeffries here now with our forecast. Already a little bit warm out there.
Yes, 84 degrees at 7:04 in the morning, which, yeah, kind of gives you an indication of where we are headed today. It could be worse. I mean, the records for us are 115 degrees. Instead, I've got you at about 105 in Phoenix, a 90 in Sedona, 104 in Havasu, 83 at the Grand Canyon, and quite a bit of wind from the Four Corners over into Kingman. This is triggering attention from the National Weather Service. Strong wind, very dry air in place. Yeah, you get where I'm going with this. We've got a red flag warning in place. Now, as far as the winds, the only double-digit winds I've been seeing this morning are around Lake Havasu, but the winds are going to ramp up, especially I'd say after about the noon hour. It's today and tomorrow. I think we're going to get a red flag warning tomorrow as well. But then notice what happens to our numbers. Temperatures are climbing. We've got a weak layer of moisture moving through the higher terrain areas on Saturday, but our numbers are up at around 109 to almost 110. Then the good news, okay, you've got 72 hours in that zone before temperatures do start coming down by, I'd say the middle part of the month. Meantime, what's that rain element for your weekend? We're going to zero on that coming up in my full forecast.
Let's get to a tragic update now on a deadly shooting that happened in San Diego involving an Arizona couple. The baby, who was born in an emergency C-section after their mother was shot and killed, has now died. Police say the baby's mother, 17-year-old Jariah Edwards, was from Phoenix. She was shot and killed outside of a short-term rental property in San Diego by her boyfriend and the baby's father, 21-year-old Trevon Williams. This happened on May 30th. Williams did appear in court last week, pleading not guilty to murder, but now that the newborn has died, Williams could face an additional murder charge. 3 people are dead after separate water-related incidents in Arizona and Utah over the weekend. Those incidents happening in Avondale, Buckeye, and at Bear Lake in northern Utah. A teen from Arizona drowned there, and investigators say the 17-year-old fell from his paddleboard and became separated from it. And this morning we're learning he was not wearing a life jacket at the time. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra, she has the latest details.
Utah officials are still investigating, but we've learned the teen wasn't wearing a life jacket. A tragic day on Bear Lake in Utah. A 17-year-old boy from Arizona drowned while paddleboarding at Ideal Beach. According to the Utah Department of Natural Resources, the teen reportedly fell off the paddleboard and became separated from it. First responders pulled the teen from the water and attempted to save his life, but he did not survive. Officials say the teen was not wearing a life jacket.
The life jacket is going to probably make a difference whether you live or die.
Jay Arthur, the president of the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona, tells me lakes and rivers can be deceivingly dangerous.
The lakes, you can't really see the depth of where you're at. And you've got to remember the rivers, they're turbulent. They can sweep you away faster than you think.
As more people flock to open bodies of water this summer, Arthur says it's important to take safety precautions no matter how skilled a swimmer you are. For paddleboarders, he recommends wearing the tether around your ankle to keep the board close by.
That's designed for a safety purpose, that if you do fall off and do disengage from the paddleboard, depending on where you're at, it's not going to float away from you.
But ultimately, Arthur says wearing a life jacket is the most important water safety tool, no matter your age. Most lakes in and around Maricopa County now offer life jackets on loan in various styles and sizes, typically found at kiosks near boat ramps.
When you're in a situation like that and you start to panic, that life jacket is going to save your life in those situations.
In Arizona, stand-up paddle boards are legally classified as vessels and must have a life jacket for every person on board. Children 12 and under must be wearing the life jacket at all times. In the newsroom, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News Today in AZ.
All right, Gabby, thank you. A tragic reminder of the dangers of the heat. An 18-year-old has died while hiking at Grand Canyon National Park. Hikers say this is a major loss for the community. And while the park is for everyone to enjoy, proper preparation is essential to staying safe. 12 News journalist Tiani Jadalang, she spoke with experts on how to prepare before you head out on the Grand Canyon trails.
According to officials, the 18-year-old was on a day hike from South Rim to the Colorado River and was on his way back using the Bright Angel Trail when park officials found him.
Definitely a loss and someone that we will remember.
Officials say the teen was 30 feet below the trail in a remote area near Garden Creek when the Grand Canyon National Park Regional Communications Center received reports of an individual experiencing heat-related symptoms. Life-saving measures were attempted, but the teen did not survive. Hikers we spoke with say many people underestimate the conditions and unfortunately arrive unprepared.
Something about the Grand Canyon is that at the rim it's pretty high elevation, about 5,000 feet, so it's a lot cooler, but as you hike in, it gets hotter. Something that I like to keep in mind and use as a frame of reference is if it's 100 here in the valley, at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, it's about the same altitude, so it'll also be around 100.
Rebecca Rodriguez frequents several of the trails at the Grand Canyon. She says hydration is extremely important both the night before and day of the hike. Her personal recommendation, 3 liters of water, an electrolyte mix, and more.
Down South Kaibab, you can reach the Colorado River, but it is 7 miles without water. So it's something to be prepared that the next water source would be the Colorado River.
The avid hiker also mentions using resources readily available to help prevent worst-case scenarios.
I would say Backcountry Office is a really great resource. You can stop by. They can let you know about the water sources and the weather conditions as well. And it's also a place to check in. So that way they know where you're headed and what your plans are.
Rodriguez says sunscreen and appropriate clothing are critical, but the most important step is showing it prepared before ever hitting the trail.
If you do have some water, if you use up half of it, then it's time to come back out. I think that's the beauty of the Grand Canyon is you can go in partially and then come back out.
That was Artiani Jadalang reporting. Overall, Rodriguez says hikers should not shy away during the heat, but rather become more selective about those times you're going to head out on the trail. As for the teen, the Coconino County Medical Examiner's Office will investigate this incident. I'll send you over to our Troy Lynch right now, who's got a look at I-10.
Yeah, we're taking a look in between the stack and the mini stack because there's this one crash off to the right side of the highway as of right now. Not really blocking any sort of traffic. However, just be careful if you are trying to take 7th Ave and getting off of it here. There's also another accident involving a semi-truck happening on the 10 near 40th Street. I'll be telling you more about that coming up.
We're outside the Arizona Athletic Grounds in Mesa. Believe it or not, this is where Team Turkey is training for the 2026 World Cup. Coming up next, when you can catch them in action.
All right, you got to stick around. We've got much more ahead, including your weather impact forecast and your top headlines coming up in just 2 minutes.
12 News Valley Cam, sponsored by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So dozens are dead and hundreds more hurt after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked the southern Philippines this morning. This is a look at some of the destruction. It struck just before 7:40 a.m. local time. I mean, you can hear the kids there. I mean, such a scary situation. All that gave me chills. This was off the coast of General Santos City, sending a 3-foot tsunami into nearby coasts. New images showing the convenience stores crumbling, sheets of concrete layered on top of each other, and those school children crouching down, just trying to take cover as the ground was swaying beneath them. You saw the trees in the background also swaying as well. Some smaller waves were measured in Indonesia and as far away as southern Japan. The National Weather Service says no tsunami threats have been detected, though, in Hawaii. Such a scary situation. Let's turn things to our weather impact forecast right now, where we are dealing with the heat, although not record territory, but still Mother Nature's cranking things up a bit here.
'Tis the season, right? We know what's coming. We've got months of weather like this. The good news is, I'd say the stark contrast, because a lot of people ask me, how do you put up with the desert heat? Well, you got to know how to plan out your day. And also, at least still in June, we've got mild conditions in the evenings and in the mornings. Now, because of that, our 12 News weather watchers were out in full force capturing some of these sunsets last night, looking like cotton candy clouds in Buckeye. Teresa, thank you so much for sending this one in. Also, much of the same, Diane in Cottonwood, showing some of these cloud formations that were moving through yesterday, a sign that we do have a little bit of action going going on in the atmosphere, which means even though it's sunny and dry here, the winds are still going to be whistling, especially in the higher elevations. And we may even get some rain in the higher elevations by Friday. We'll get to that in just a minute. Right now, highs should push up to 105 during the day. Clear skies tonight, dropping down to about 77. Heads up, red flag warning today and tomorrow for all these areas in pink because the winds are up and the humidity levels are down. So that means we've got increased concern for wildfire danger. I mean, if one were to spark, as dry as it is and as windy as it is, those flames will just really allow that fire to multiply. So it's a very dangerous time. Meantime, here we go. Let's take a look at what's coming in this weekend. Starting on Friday, we may get some, very light, probably not measurable rain showers around the region for the White Mountains, I'd say. But then as we get into Saturday and Sunday, we've got a line of showers that should be moving through. It's still a long range forecast. Don't cancel any of your plans. These are very quick moving, scattered showers. So notice temperatures, start to come down in Flagstaff, but our numbers go up. So moisture clearly not going to be impacting the valley. Instead, we're just climbing close to 110 degrees. Now, if you like to follow along with these storms as they develop, remember, just scan that QR code right there and we'll have our live radar 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Troy.
Very handy tool. Thank you, Ginger. Hey, we're taking a look at the 10 near 19th Ave. So this is just past the stack on your way to the mini stack over here. As you can see, there is this one accident pushed off to the right side just before you get off on the 7th Ave exit. And a lot of cars slowing down, merging over into the left lanes, even though it's not blocking any lanes. Just know that in that area, it's definitely going to slow down. There was another accident involving a semi-truck. This one happening near Guadalupe. This is on the 10 near 40th Street. And so you can see a DPS vehicle there aiding one of the cars and also the semi-truck, but barely any cars on this highway, which is the good news. So it's not causing any backups of the sort. But take a look at this. A lot of commotion happening just kind of in the central part of the valley. Lots of crashes that are kind of popping up, some on the major highways pushed off to the right, and a lot of colors starting to form really quickly. Let me get you some drive times. This is the 10 East and 17 South heading towards downtown Phoenix. Going to be about a 20-minute drive if you're on the 10 going from the 101 to the stack, or if you're on the 17 going from Peoria Ave all the way down to 7th Ave. I got some more drive times for you in the next few minutes. David?
Well, we are just days away from the start of the FIFA World Cup, and before the 2026 World Cup gets underway, Team Turkey is actually training here in the Valley. They're in Mesa, and tonight their national soccer squad will practice in front of a sold-out crowd. Our David Chazanov joining us live from the Arizona Athletic Grounds, where the players will be this evening. All right, so David, let's talk about how quickly those tickets went. I mean, they were offered up and they were actually free, but people, they gobbled them up.
They absolutely did. They jumped at the bit, that's for sure. They posted them online about 2 weeks ago, the Arizona Athletic Grounds, that is, and they sold out in less than 2 hours. Like you said, Allison, those were free, and it just shows you how soccer fans here in the Valley are super pumped to see Team Turkey here in person. One employee here told our 12 News anchor Tram Mai last week just how excited they are to host Team Turkey.
It's a big opportunity for us to put Arizona Athletic Grounds on the world stage. The World Cup probably doesn't come around in our lifetimes again at this part of the world. And yeah, really proud to be able to be part of it, and Arizona Athletic Grounds to be sort of front and center.
Yeah, Mesa City leaders are hyped about this too. They posted some pictures online welcoming Team Turkey, which you see here. But even if you didn't get a ticket for the open practice, you can still join in on the fun. There's going to be a free community event here from 5 to 7 p.m. where you can enjoy authentic Turkish food, ice cream, and play some soccer games. David Hayes tells 12 News it took a lot of hard work to host this Turkish club.
It's been a 2-year process. It's not been overnight. We sent that application in a couple of years ago, and a lot of waiting and to see what happens.
And the moment is finally here. But before the World Cup begins, Phoenix Rising FC is getting the word out about 5 watch parties they're hosting across the valley. You see this graphic here. They will have events for all 3 U.S. men's national team matches with player appearances from Phoenix Rising FC and, of course, some giveaways. Also this Friday, Tempe Marketplace will host a giant outdoor big screen watch party where they're going to show the U.S. game versus Paraguay at 6 p.m. And before those games begin, Team Turkey is training here in Arizona ahead of their Saturday match in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada against Australia. We're in Mesa. David Chasanoff, 12 News, today in AZ.
Is that not the most recognizable organ piece of music like you've ever heard? Well, of course, we're talking about Phantom of the Opera, and the music of the night is returning to the Valley. Tickets for the new North American tour of the Broadway show go on sale today at 11 a.m. for the upcoming run at ASU Gamage. Now, the iconic Andrew Lloyd Webber musical will open the 2026-27 Broadway season with a 3-week engagement. We're talking September 16th through October 4th. Now, season subscriptions also still available with 9 additional Broadway shows scheduled to visit Tempe this season. That should be a good one. Hey, don't forget, Today in AZ expands exclusively on the 12 News streaming app from 7 to 9 a.m. We do this Monday through Friday. Here's a look at what's still to come in just 2 minutes. Thousands of Arizonans dropping health coverage under the Affordable Care Act, and new numbers are showing a sharp decline in enrollment. Our Tori King will break down what's driving the change and what it could mean for care all across our state. Also ahead, President Donald Trump sitting down with NBC's Meet the Press over the weekend, but things didn't quite go as planned. The interview turned tense and ended abruptly. At 8:30, our Justin Pizarro will share the key moments from the exchange and how Arizona leaders, including our Senator Mark Kelly, are responding. Thank you so much for streaming Today in AZ here on the 12 News streaming app. We're going to be right back with a look at your weather impact forecast live on 12 News in just 2 minutes.
12 News Weather Impact is sponsored by Goody Garage Doors. Goody, we fix garage doors for good.
Across America, extraordinary stories are unfolding. Neighbors helping neighbors. Everyday people making an incredible difference. Stories of generosity. Stories of resilience. Stories that remind us who we are. Experience these inspiring stories with America's 250. Red, White, and You.
Red, White, and You, America's 250 is sponsored by Semper Fi Heating and Cooling, proudly supporting the spirit of community service and the stories that connect us.
Arizona Midday, making the trip to places across the valley, taking you to events everywhere in Arizona, showcasing the latest in entertainment, restaurants, and overall lifestyle, daily starting at 2 o'clock.
Evening cabs, have fun. Exactly. She said it's ideal for bachelorette parties, girls' day.
Arizona Midday, exciting, fun, informative.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Allison Rodriguez. Let's get right to today's top stories. Phoenix fire crews rescuing a 17-year-old hiker from Camelback Mountain. This happened yesterday afternoon after she was injured on the trail. She was about a quarter of a way up the Echo Canyon Trail when she slipped and hurt her ankle. And because of the terrain, crews had to use a hoist operation to get her off the mountain. As summer crowds do head to Lake Mead, park officials are making it easier to stay safe out there on the water. It's thanks to a donation of about 350 life jackets. Visitors can now borrow Coast Guard approved jackets for free at loaner stations throughout the park. Officials say every drowning death at Lake Mead has involved somebody not wearing a life jacket. An important message as the temperatures heat up and so many people will be looking for ways to stay cool, Ginger.
Indeed. I mean, temperatures, we have arrived with our summertime status, 84 degrees, and it's not even 7:30 in the morning. Woo, boy. Wind is calm right now, but wind is going to play a major role in the weather story today. You can see it across the northern tier of the state. So the winds are up, the humidity levels are down, and the National Weather Service issuing a red flag warning, which means we've got heightened concern for fire weather danger. And look at this. I mean, with temperatures at 105 degrees, ouch. So hot, dry, gusty. It's not a good combo, and it's definitely what we're dealing with a little bit later today. I don't see strong winds until later this afternoon. Right now, the strongest wind about 15 miles an hour in Havasu City. But again, those winds are going to ramp up today and tomorrow. And then our temperatures, they're going to take a turn for the hot side as well as we approach 110 this weekend. Troy?
How about this kind of traffic happening on the 10 heading east? This is near 19th Ave in between the stack and the mini stack. There's also a crash that DPS is working to try to clear up on the right shoulder of the highway. Just before you get off at 7th Ave, you can see some cars bumper to bumper hitting the brake lights pretty hard in that area. So that's on the bottom rightish part of your screen. Look at all the red happening on the 10 east right now. You are officially in the red on the 10 east, heading closer and closer to downtown. Phoenix going to take you about a 21-minute drive from going from the 101 to the stack. 17 south, you're in the yellow. However, the stack to the split, the 10's looking pretty good, at least a whole lot better than the 17 south. That's going to take you a little bit more than a 10-minute drive.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for 12 News Today in AZ, live right here on the 12 News streaming app. I'm Allison Rodriguez. It is a hot and dry start to the week across Arizona. Let's get to meteorologist Ginger Jeffries with our weather impact forecast. Ginger, I mean, we've actually got some fire alerts in some parts of our state.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bad combo when we're talking about temperatures that are so high, humidity levels that are going to be right around 10%, and then add in some gusty conditions. So certainly we've got concerns in the higher elevations for increased fire danger. So we've got a red flag warning today and tomorrow. Meantime, as these temperatures continue to climb, I mean, look at this. We're going for a high of 105. Normal is about 103, so slightly elevated. And we're still getting some pretty manageable conditions, at least through about the noon hour. We're pushing those triple digits off after 12 o'clock, which is big because last week we were already playing the triple digit game between about 11 to noon. So if we can, delay them as much as possible, that's all we can hope for this time of the year. But by 2 o'clock, I think we're in the triple digits and headed for a high of 105 degrees. And then nice dry air is actually going to allow us to cool down overnight. So these overnights still in the 70s. But that fire weather concern, I think we're going to see it tomorrow as well because these winds are going to ramp up a little bit more. Now notice there's a theme here in the forecast. Our temperatures are slowly but surely taking a little bit of an uptick. We should be up at around the 110 marker for 3 days starting on Saturday. But then the good news, because I always have to find it in that long range forecast, our temperatures will start coming back down closer to normal. Now we do have a little bit of moisture moving through. I'm going to show you where and when. Coming up, my full forecast. Troy, howdy.
Howdy, Ginger. Hey, we're taking a look at the 10 right now. There is this crash that is still off in between the stack and the mini stack right over here just before you get off of 7th Ave. This is also one of the slower parts of the valley that we are seeing right now. So that is super unfortunate. This is also the 10 over near the Guadalupe area where you can see near 40th Street. There's some sort of incident between a car and a semi-truck, and then a DPS vehicle is involved as well. However, not blocking any of the lanes. As you can see, lots of cars able to freely drive, no problem. Let's take a look around the valley. As you can see, the closer and closer you get to downtown Phoenix, that is where we're seeing the most color, especially on the 10 East, right after the 202 interchange, all the way to the stack. You're seeing a lot of red right there. As you can see, the 10 East in the red from the 101 to the stack 17 South, right now in the yellow. I'll have more drive times for you when I return.
Let's get to developing news we're following out of New York City this morning, where police say a man has been arrested after 6 people were stabbed at Penn Station. It's one of the country's busiest transit hubs. It happened last night around 7 p.m. Police say one person has serious injuries, while 4 others had minor to moderate injuries and are expected to survive. Amtrak saying its police responded to the scene and the suspect was quickly apprehended.
We didn't know what was happening until there were 4 police cars and 4 ambulances came and all that. So, and then we looked at that guy and he was still holding the towel and it was all bloody. So that's when we realized. So yeah, that's what we saw.
Well, New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani posting on social media expressing support for the victims and saying the city is working with Amtrak on the response. Happening today, jury selection will get underway in the federal arson trial of the man accused of sparking the fire that investigators say led to the devastating Palisades fire in LA last year. That fire killed 12 people. It destroyed thousands of homes and it scorched more than 23,000 acres. Now, prosecutors are alleging that the suspect intentionally set a brush fire on New Year's Day 2025 that reignited days later and then exploded into the deadly wildfire. The suspect has pleaded not guilty, and his attorneys dispute the government's claim that the 2 fires are connected. New data showing thousands of Arizonans are no longer actively enrolled in Affordable Health Care Act health plans. Experts say rising costs, those may be driving some people away from coverage, raising concerns about what that could mean for health care across our state. Let's get to 12 News journalist Tori King, who is live here in the studio with more on this one. Tori.
Well, good morning. More than 50,000 Arizonans who signed up for Affordable Care Act plans this year, they are no longer actively enrolled, and health policy experts say that could have those long-term consequences for our state. According to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, more than 357,000 Arizonans selected ACA plans by the January deadline, but state data shows just over 306,000 people were actively enrolled by March 1st after paying their first premium. Experts say higher premiums, higher deductibles, and even the loss of enhanced federal subsidies might be contributing to this decline. Now, that decline looks even larger when compared to data from last year. State data shows more than 121,000 fewer Arizonans are actively enrolled in ACA plans than they were at this time in 2025. Experts say it's still unclear whether people who left their ACA plans found other coverage or if they're just now living without insurance. But they do warn this decline could actually have broader consequences for our state's healthcare system. Some health policy experts fear more people could become uninsured if enrollment continues to fall. They say that could lead to more uncompensated care, meaning hospitals and providers might actually end up treating more patients who are unable to pay for their care. Experts say they're also watching upcoming changes to AHCCS beginning in 2027. Some recipients will need to show they're working at least 80 hours a month or even participating in another qualifying activity such as job training or education programs just to maintain their coverage. So that is new. They're also going to have to renew their coverage twice a year instead of previously only having to do it once a year. Health policy experts say those changes combined with declining ACA enrollment could lead to more Arizonans losing health coverage in the future. For more information or to see the state data right here, just head to our website, 12news.com. Reporting live in studio, I'm Tori King, 12 News.
All right, Tori, thank you so much. Let's get to another top story that you've probably seen clips of on social media. President Donald Trump's latest Meet the Press interview that turned into a full-on clash with moderator Kristen Welker. The president cutting that interview short after Welker started to press him on some questions. Let's get to our Justin Pizzera here in studio with more on what actually did come out of the interview and what happened after the president walked out. So, Justin, I mean, what happened? What caused the president to react this way?
I mean, it went downhill pretty fast here. About a 5-minute exchange between the two of them, a heated exchange. The president and Welker, they have done interviews before, but this one, it was a lot different because of this heated exchange. It was about 35 minutes into that interview. The president clearly got angry with some of her questions. They were talking about the now abandoned anti-weaponization fund, and then they were talking about the elections in California and the president believing they're rigged.
That's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in California.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
really.
Let's
well,
continue.
You play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Well, the president eventually took his mic off and said he was done with the interview. Welker repeatedly did ask him to stay. She said that she flew to Wisconsin for the interview. He got up and walked out. Before all of that, though, the president did talk about the war in Iran. Since the interview was taped last Friday, Iran did launch multiple missiles at Israel. The president said during the interview, though, that they are close to a deal. He also said the Iranian government has conceded the fact that they will not have nuclear weapons, but he still needs more in that deal. The president also said the Federal Reserve should lower interest rates. The latest jobs report, that was a lot better than a lot of people expected. On June the 16th and 17th, though, so coming up pretty quick here, officials are going to be meeting and deciding what to do with those interest rates. That interview, though, that we just saw where it got heated, that was actually taped last Friday. The president and Welker then talked on Saturday, and he did agree to sit down for another interview. At this point, Allison, we're not sure when that is going to happen.
Okay, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a good sign if maybe he did agree to sit back down with her, and we'll see kind of what the parameters will be and what comes out of that one. Justin, thank you so much. Parents and caregivers, listen up. Target is recalling its Up and Up fragrance-free and cucumber-scented baby wipes due to possible bacterial contamination. The major retailer says it received several complaints of eye and skin irritation, as well as some infections associated with the use of these wipes. FDA testing has revealed the presence of a bacteria that may result in serious and life-threatening infections in babies and young children. The impacted wipes, they have expiration dates between May 10th through November 5th, 2028. You should immediately stop using them, and you can return them to Target to get a full refund. Triple-digit temperatures, they're back across Arizona. Experts say a parked car can become dangerous faster than many people realize. Still ahead, an injury prevention specialist from Phoenix Children's will join us live with some life-saving reminders for families. So stick around. We'll go over your weather impact forecast as well and more of your top headlines. That's all coming up in just 2 minutes.
I'm Emma Jade, morning anchor on 12 News and Mesa Local. Our family has lived here for 5 generations. And as a busy working mom, I know it's important to prepare you for the day ahead with the latest headlines. Whether it's diving into the issues with our school funding or breaking news from across the valley, we've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to the Valley's top streaming newscast on 12 News.
12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kariba Devine. And 12 News today in AZ. I'm Emma Jade.
I'm Allison Rodriguez. One team covering news around the clock. We are getting you going with a fast start to your day.
From when it breaks at night. First, let's get out to 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra.
To the developments the next morning.
We've been following this story for you since August.
Tracking the incoming weather.
We're going to be mostly sunny. And how it's impacting you when you wake up.
So end your day with 12 News at 10.
And start your day with 12 News today in AZ.
Good Monday morning. Let's take a look across the nation because guess what? Even though we are on the hot side, we're not the hot spot of the nation. Rio Grande, Texas. Yeah, you see where all this hot pink and purple is? 111 degrees. That's what they're going for. There is quite a heating complex for the nation's midsection, and that's going to draw up some moisture from the Gulf. So we could be talking about some tornadoes in about the next 12 to 24 hours. So pretty active weather and a severe weather going on for the upper plains into the Midwest. The rest of us coast to coast, pretty nice and mild. I mean, Seattle actually getting some sunshine today and 59 degrees. Of course, we excel in sunshine here, right? As a result, temperatures are climbing. We're slightly above the normal range. Look for 80s through about the 9 a.m. hour, and then we're in the 90s through about 2 p.m. And then we should be hitting those triple digits and holding through 7 o'clock tonight. So that's kind of your cue. Limit your outdoor exposure between about 2 to 7 because, oh boy, yep, we're going to be on the higher side. Certainly not record territory, but 105 in Phoenix. We're going to feel that. I've got 101 in Scottsdale, 103 for Glendale, and 104 in Goodyear. For this time of the year, this is within the realm of what would be considered normal. However, our temperatures are climbing this week. We're edging up closer to 110, which still isn't going to put us in the record books, but it is going to be on the warmer side. I mean, it's June. It's desert. This is what we do. The other major concern is the red flag warning that we've got for the higher terrain. Today and tomorrow, I think we're going to see this increased fire danger because it is dry and it is gusty. We've got winds today up to 35 miles an hour. Tomorrow, I think it's going to be closer to 50. And then temperatures respond. We've got upper 80s in Flagstaff before a little bit of moisture is going to move through over the weekend, kicking out quite a bit of cloud cover. Now, here in the valley, we're cruising at 105 to 106 to 108 to, yes, 109 back-to-back Saturday and Sunday. Again, not record territory, but certainly on the warmer side. Heads up, folks, you know, we've got monsoon just around the corner. And if you want to stay up to date with our live radar 24/7, all you have to do is scan this QR code and download it to your smartphone.
You know, after seeing those temperatures, boy, this next conversation could not be more timely. Mesa police have identified the man who was found dead inside of a van last week near a facility that was supposed to be caring for him. They say 36-year-old Lorenzo Lopez was found inside of a van belonging to the ITC Personal In-Home Care Facility at Lindsay and Brown Roads. Investigators say he had developmental disabilities, and police say still unclear how long Lopez had been inside that vehicle before he was found. The cause of death remains under investigation. But here's the thing. Arizona summers, they can turn so deadly in just minutes in our vehicles with triple-digit temperatures. Phoenix Children's is here reminding all families just about some of the simple habits that can save lives. So joining us this morning is Blanca Villaseñor with Phoenix Children's with more on this important message. My gosh. And the main takeaway will be, and we'll reiterate this many times, is always look before you leave. Okay, so we'll come back around to that. But the first thing I want to talk about is how hot it really does get inside vehicles, because I don't think people realize we have so many people who've just moved here, right? And so they might think, okay, maybe I'll leave the car running, or maybe it can't be that warm. It gets scorching.
All right. I mean, and we might get used to the heat, but it's always very important to think about on a day with 100 degrees or more, inside of the temperature can get really, really hot. Sometimes even reaching up to 140 degrees inside of the car. 20 degrees, it could raise up really quickly inside of a vehicle in just 10 minutes. And here in Arizona, in the valley, where we get more 100 days or more of triple digits, it's something that we really, really want to keep in mind.
Okay, so some people might think, okay, if it gets that hot, maybe I'll just crack a window or put the shade up. I mean, is that really going to make that much of a difference?
It doesn't really slow any temperatures that can rise up to like 20 degrees inside of a car. It doesn't really help as much. Even in direct sunlight or parking under a shade or turning on the AC, a lot of new vehicles now, what they do is for security purposes, the AC will turn off when there's no movement in the car. So that is not a very reliable thing to do.
Exactly. I know some people, and sadly we've covered that here, who thought that was the case, and then tragedy sadly happened. And so a lot of these cases we've talked about have involved people from all ages. I mean, we just talked about that man who's 36 years old, but who is most at risk of sadly dying from heat inside of a hot car?
It could be anything, but children also are most at risk, and that's because especially younger kids, they might be sleeping in the back seat of the car when there's a change of routine in the family.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, if dad is the one who's dropping off the kids at school, but there's a change of routine, especially during the summer now that kids are out of school. I know the first day out of school for my kids, it was very chaotic. It took us about a week to kind of get used to it, to that new routine.
Right.
So kids are very high at risk, especially those infants, because they can be silently sleeping in the back seat.
Yeah, I mean, that exactly. Unfortunately, most of the time when we do talk about these cases, it is the toddlers, it is the young babies who are in the back who've fallen asleep. And it struck every, kind of family from every walk of life. This is not just, something where people can be like, that's never going to happen to me. That's happened to people.
Not at all, not at all. And that's a big misconception that can say when we hear those sad stories in the news, it's like probably parents were not paying attention, but it can happen to a very loving and caring family.
Absolutely. So then what is the best way for parents and caregivers to kind of get ahead of this and make sure they never forget about a child in the back seat.
Yeah. So make it a habit to always look in the back seat. Always look before you lock. That's kind of like a very catchy phrase.
Yeah.
That it's kind of keeps us keep us in mind to always make it a habit. If you see that there's going to be a change in routine, kind of plan ahead.
Yes.
Talk to caregivers, to daycare administrators, anything like that.
Yeah.
Come up with a plan beforehand.
Yeah, look before you lock. I really like that one here. I've also started you put your purse in the back seat,
Yes.
something like that. Something even your phone, put it back there because you always are going to go for your phone, and that is going to kind of just be an extra reminder for you if you need it. Don't leave a kid or a pet either in the hot car. And we've had instances where that has tragically happened. And then people, maybe they're walking by and they see a child or a pet in distress in the back seat or in the front seat. What should we do if we happen to see that?
Oh, definitely call 911. You are not sure how much time or that child has been inside of the car, that pet, but always call 911, be active, and always reach out for help.
Okay, I mean, such life-saving tips here. Like we talk about, it can go from 100 degrees, 20 degrees up in just no time in the vehicle. It gets so hot in there, and we just want to be able to prevent any more tragedies here in the Valley.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Blanca. I really appreciate it. Important conversation, like I said, when we saw those temperatures, and hopefully people will remember that as we get into the summer.
Thank you.
And let's get you over to Troy Lynch right now, who's got a check of our roads as rush hour is, well, we hope it's starting to wind down.
Yeah, we're in the middle of it right now. However, it's pretty mild for your Monday as we take a look around our Valley hotspots right now. Look at the 10, 83rd Ave and 43rd Ave. My goodness, it's actually looking pretty good. And then also the 101 in the northern part of the valley near Cave Creek. That's also looking good. And the 17, honestly, been looking fantastic all morning long. But we take a look around the valley-wide map. As you can see, the 10 right here, you see a little bit of red, but like we just saw on 43rd Ave, that's around this area. Still not looking too bad. Around the Durango curve, that's been in the yellow pretty much all day today. Some pop-up crashes happening all over the place, but really not causing any severe backups. So, despite what we saw on the ADOT cameras, the 10 East, according to the maps, still in the red. From the 101 of the stack, that's going to take you slightly over 20 minutes to get to. And then the 17 South in the yellow right now. And I suspect most of that yellow coming from just around the Durango curve until you get to 7th Ave. So you're going to be hovering just under 40 miles an hour right there. Let's talk about these drive times real quick from the stack all the way to the split. Look how much color there is in between the stack and the mini stack right over here. Oh, looks like the 10 heading north right over here is picking up a little bit more red. Not sure if there's an accident there. I'm going to go check on that real quick and bring you back some more information. But just know from the stack to the split, whether you're taking the 10 or the 17, you are going to be in the yellow. Allison?
Well, thank you so much for streaming Today in AZ on the 12 News streaming app this morning. We're going to be right back with a look at your weather impact forecast. Troy's not done yet. We'll get another check of those roads as well. That's all in just 2 minutes.
I'm Ginger Jeffries, morning meteorologist on 12 News, and always up for a hike, especially Piestewa Peak. I love preparing a user-friendly forecast to get you ready for the day. Whether it's tracking temperature swings from the high country into the valley or keeping you ahead of strong winds during monsoon, we've got you covered. Make the move to Arizona's top streaming newscast. Weekdays starting at 4:26, anywhere you watch.
12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kariba Devine. And 12 News Today in AZ. I'm Emma Jade.
I'm Allison Rodriguez. One team covering news around the clock. We are getting you going with a fast start to your day.
From when it breaks at night, 12 News journalist Maria Stobbs is live
To the developments the next morning.
Continuing coverage now as we are in day 12.
Tracking the incoming weather.
We're going to be mostly sunny, and how it's impacting you when you wake up.
So end your day with 12 News at 10.
And start your day with 12 News Today in AZ.
I'm Mark Curtis from 12 News.
And I'm Derek Hall, president of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And together with Vitalant, we're asking Arizonans to help save lives this summer. Join us Sunday, July 5th at the Tempe Center for the Arts for the Saving Arizona Holiday Blood Drive.
Blood donations can help real people and real families during their hardest moments.
Donors receive a pair of Diamondbacks tickets. Just scan the QR code on your screen.
Please join us and help make a difference for Arizona.
It's the Saving Arizona Holiday Blood Drive, Sunday, July 5th.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Allison Rodriguez. Let's get right to today's top stories. We're tracking a brush fire that sparked yesterday in the desert northeast of the valley. The Pioneer Fire has burned 25 acres so far. This is just west of State Route 188 near Jake's Corner in the Tonto National Forest. So far, it is 25% contained, but crews have stopped that fire from spreading. That's good news. But a set status is still in place for the Brownsville Mobile Home Park. Meantime, right here in the valley, fire crews battled a brush fire near 51st Avenue and Broadway. This one sparked around 7 yesterday morning, and it burned about 2 acres in the riverbed. Crews were able to quickly put that fire out, and no one was hurt and no structures were damaged. David?
We're outside the Arizona Athletic Grounds here in Mesa. This is where Team Turkey is training for the 2026 World Cup. Tonight, the National Soccer Club will practice in front of a sold-out crowd. The Arizona Athletic Grounds put free tickets on their website, and they sold out in just an hour and 12 minutes. If you didn't get a ticket for the open practice, that's okay. There's going to be a free event that anyone can attend from 5 to 7 p.m. It's where you can enjoy authentic Turkish food, ice cream, and so much more. We're in Mesa. David Chasanoff, 12 News.
Oh, that ice cream is going to taste great today because temperatures, we are above the average range. Not record territory, but, a little elevated, I'd say. 77 in Flagstaff today, 90 in Sedona, and about 105 in Phoenix. So about 1 to 7 degrees above normal. Remember, records for us this time of the year are in the 1 teens. So even though I do have you warming, closing in on 110 for this weekend, at least I don't have record heat on the board. Troy?
Taking a look at the 10 over in the West Valley. This is near 43rd Ave. We are seeing random bumper-to-bumper traffic at certain times of the morning. However, looking pretty good right now. Let's take a look around the valley. As you can see, the closer you get into the central part of the valley, some pop-up crashes happening all over the place. Some causing some backups and slowdowns, but others just off of the major highways. But really quickly, let's take a look at some of your East Valley drive times. The 60 West in the yellow, everything else in the green.
It is your Monday morning. Thanks for joining us right here on 12 News Today in AZ, live on the 12 News 24/7 streaming app. I'm Emma Jade. Okay, first for you at 8 a.m., we are following some breaking news in the West Valley where a woman has died after being hit by multiple vehicles. This is in Glendale at this intersection here. This is some video this is near Grant and Myrtle, where Glendale police say the woman was hit, found unresponsive in the roadway. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. Now, it's unclear at this time whether or not any of the vehicles are aware of their involvement in this incident. Right now, Grand is still closed. It's been closed for several hours, and this is a big closure. Orangewood to 57th Drive. So if you're in this area, it's part of your morning commute, you're going to want to avoid it. We're checking in now with Troy. Troy, we've been talking about this for the last 4 hours. We still don't know when it's going to reopen. So what do drivers need to do?
Yeah, it feels like such a long time ago when ADOT told us that there is no timetable when it's going to reopen. So yes, for the past few hours, we've been recommending these workarounds right over here. So you can exit Bethany Home or Northern Ave if you were already on Grand Ave. And then if you are trying to get back onto the 60, then you could use 51st Ave or 67th Ave, because take a look at that red. That means no cars getting through. And then you can see the backup, that yellow that's continuing to go southeast towards downtown Phoenix. Just know if you're trying to head north or northwest, that is going to be slowing you down quite a bit. So we're taking a look around the valley right now. East Valley relatively tame, so that is some good news. The 202 South Mountain looking very good. However, the closer you get to downtown Phoenix, that is when things start to get a little bit more colorful and a little bit slower. However, the worst part of the valley right over there is 43rd Ave on the 101, getting closer to the 17. But really quickly, let's just zoom in so we can see the 10 East right now. Just looking really yellow, but you know, this ADOT cam showing 43rd Ave, things are flowing very nicely, even though the map is showing a whole lot of yellow. So just know if you're heading towards the stack this morning that things are going to be looking pretty good. Honestly, could be worse with an hour left in rush hour. Emma?
All right, thank you. Well, now to some breaking news that we continue to follow in Phoenix. Right now, Phoenix Fire investigating 2 separate apartment fires just blocks apart near 39th Avenue and Camelback Road. Let's take you there. We're told the first fire, it broke out at around 5 a.m. at a 2-story complex. That's what you're looking at here, where crews found smoke on the 2nd floor. 3 units were impacted by smoke or water damage. Thankfully, no one was home. No injuries were reported. But about an hour later, a second fire was reported just across the street. That fire started on the 1st floor of another complex, but was contained before it could spread. Investigators are now working to determine if the fires are somehow connected. So we'll keep you posted as the investigation continues. 8:05 is your time. Whew, I know, summer temps, they are here. So we're checking in with meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. Ginger, this is mild compared to the end of the week.
I know, I hate to say that this is going to be the coolest day of the week. And folks, these numbers are above the normal range. Yeah, we're going for 104 today in Goodyear, 101 in Scottsdale, 104 in Chandler, about 101 in Apache Junction, 103 in Queen Creek, and 105 in Phoenix. This time of the year, 103 is the norm. So we are just a couple degrees above our average range. And thankfully, even though we are warm this week, I'm not looking at record heat. So no 115s yet, but our severe weather is right here. We've got a red flag warning. It's issued for today and tomorrow because wind gusts are up and humidity levels are very low. So big concern. I mean, later today, we are looking for those winds into about the 30-mile-an-hour zone and even gustier for tomorrow. Meantime, oh boy, your temperatures are climbing. We should hit about 108 Wednesday and Thursday, but this weekend, I think we're going to dial it up even warmer. Details you may not want to hear, but we got to get you ready for coming up my full forecast.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Ginge, thank you. Now to a tragic update on a deadly shooting in San Diego involving an Arizona couple, the baby who was born in an emergency C-section after their mother was shot and killed, has now died. Police say the baby's mom, 17-year-old Jariah Edwards, was shot and killed outside of a short-term rental property in San Diego by her boyfriend, 21-year-old Trevon Williams. This happened back on May 30th. Now, Williams appeared in court last week. You saw it there for a second, pleading not guilty to murder. Now that the newborn has died, Williams could face an additional murder charge. 3 people are dead after separate water-related incidents in Arizona and Utah over the weekend. The incidents occurred in Avondale, in Buckeye, and at Bear Lake in northern Utah. A teenager from Arizona drowned at Bear Lake. Investigators say the 17-year-old fell from his paddleboard, became separated from it. This morning, we're learning he was not wearing a life jacket at the time. So what are the rules around life jackets, and what do you need to know? We've got 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra with the details.
Utah officials are still investigating, but we've learned the teen wasn't wearing a life jacket. A tragic day on Bear Lake in Utah. A 17-year-old boy from Arizona drowned while paddleboarding at Ideal Beach. According to the Utah Department of Natural Resources, the teen reportedly fell off the paddleboard and became separated from it. First responders pulled the teen from the water and attempted to save his life, but he did not survive. Officials say the teen was not wearing a life jacket.
The life jacket is going to probably make a difference whether you live or die.
Jay Arthur, the president of the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona, tells me lakes and rivers can be deceivingly dangerous.
The lakes, you can't really see the depth of where you're at. And you've got to remember the rivers, they're turbulent. They can sweep you away faster than you think.
As more people flock to open bodies of water this summer, Arthur says it's important to take safety precautions no matter how skilled a swimmer you are. For paddleboarders, he recommends wearing the tether around your ankle to keep the board close by.
That's designed for a safety purpose, that if you do fall off and do disengage from the paddleboard, depending on where you're at, it's not going to float away from you.
But ultimately, Arthur says wearing a life jacket is the most important water safety tool, no matter your age. Most lakes in and around Maricopa County now offer life jackets on loan in various styles and sizes, typically found at kiosks near boat ramps.
When you're in a situation like that and you start to panic, that life jacket is going to save your life in those situations.
In Arizona, stand-up paddle boards are legally classified as vessels and must have a life jacket for every person on board. Children 12 and under must be wearing the life jacket at all times. In the newsroom, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News Today in AZ.
Yeah, some good reminders there. Gabby, thank you. Well, this morning we are tracking a brush fire that started Sunday afternoon in the desert northeast of the valley. So take a look here. Fire officials say the Pioneer Fire, it's burned 25 acres so far. This is west of State Route 188 near Jake's Corner in the Tonto National Forest. So far, it's about 25% contained, but my gosh, it's going to be warm. Crews have stopped the fire from spreading, so that's some good news. It is still burning through grass and some brush in the area. Forestry officials say the fire was actually caused by equipment being used. A set status remains in place for the Brownsville Mobile Home Park, meaning they should be ready to evacuate if conditions worsen. State Route 188 is partially back open, so a heads up there. Hey, don't forget, today in AZ, we got a couple more minutes to go. Well, actually a lot, but here we go. We're exclusively right here on the 12 News 24/7 streaming app from 7 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Here's a look at what's coming up in just 2 minutes. Hey, David.
Hey, Emma, we're outside the Arizona Athletic Grounds here in Mesa, where Team Turkey is training for the 2026 World Cup. Coming up, I'll tell you when you can check out all of the action.
Can you believe that's happening right in our backyard? And you can see it all. Your weather impact forecast, that's coming up too. And more of your top local news headlines coming up in just 2 minutes. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll see you then.
"12 News Valley Cam, sponsored by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Welcome back on your Monday morning. Dozens are dead and hundreds more injured after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked the southern Philippines. Happened just this morning. The quake struck just before 7:40 a.m. local time. This is off the coast of General Santos City, sending a 3-foot tsunami into nearby coast. Look at the damage there. New images that show convenience stores, crumbling sheets of concrete layered on top of each other, and school children crouching down, taking cover as the ground beneath them swayed violently. Smaller waves were measured in Indonesia and as far away as southern Japan. The National Weather Service says no tsunami threats have been detected in Hawaii. Let's get you over to your weather impact forecast, Arizona. Yeah, listen, summer is here. Not yet monsoon season. We got to check in now with meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. We're getting close to that monsoon starting June 15th, right?
Yep, June 15th on the mark. And remember, we are expecting it to be a more active monsoon year. Granted, I mean, it's science, so it's not exact, but it certainly is shaping up to appear to bring in some heftier moisture levels for us. Meantime, over the weekend, oh, did you enjoy this? The clouds that we saw giving us cotton candy skies, illuminating with those pinks and oranges. I love it. Our 12 News weather watchers sending in those photos. Well, that was last night. This is right now. Those clouds definitely pushing away from us. In its place, we've got hot, dry conditions and windy as well. Look at this, 85 degrees, folks, at 8:15 in the morning. And today is actually the coolest day of the entire week. We are going to be sunny. We are going to be dry. Highs at 105. I know that's not cool. I'm just trying to, set the stage for what's coming in, especially for the weekend, which means, yeah, we're still getting that optimal conditions in the very early morning and overnight. We've got clear skies tonight, temperatures down to about 77 degrees. Our severe weather, even though, yes, I know we're in the triple digits, we're not at record territory. We don't have heat warnings, but we do have a red flag warning because of the gusty conditions that we're going to see and the abundance of dry air in place. So wildfires can really spread rapidly in this kind of weather. And we're going to see it today. We're going to see it tomorrow. Now, the strongest winds will come in the afternoon hours between about 2 to 4. And I'm talking about wind speeds in the double digits, maybe closing in on 35 miles an hour today, but even windier conditions tomorrow. And then look at this. I know it's not monsoon yet, and these are monsoon systems. We need that easterly wind flow. But this is going to bring around a little bit of scattered shower activity at earliest. I'd say Saturday early morning, but then by Saturday evening into Sunday morning, we've got a layer of moisture that's going to move on through, possibly bringing around some isolated showers for the higher elevations. Flagstaff, I'm talking about you. Doesn't look like it's going to be measurable, but again, it may just kind of kick out a shower here and there. Meantime, for the valley, it is definitely not going to be dropping into our neck of the woods. Instead, your temperatures are just climbing. I've got you at around 109 degrees back to back on Saturday and Sunday. Now, we mentioned monsoon because, yeah, you're going to want to stay ahead of the storms. If you just download this, our app, you can stream our live radar 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know Troy does.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely do. And I'm taking advantage of it because I'm going to Flagstaff Thursday and Friday. And it is for work, believe it or not. We've got to shoot a couple of Rediscover Arizona, show you how you can beat the heat over this summer. Hey, we're taking a look at 43rd Ave on the 10 heading eastbound as of right now. My goodness, it is looking fantastic. And I want to show you this. This is the 10 near 16th Street, close to the mini stack. And I just love this shot because of the downtown Phoenix skyline. No traffic in sight either. Things are definitely improving on our highways this morning, even though, yeah, you take a look at the 10, still got a little bit of color on it, especially from the 202 to the stack. As you can see, that is clearly in the red right now, especially in the interchange area. That's going to take you a little over 10 minutes. However, going all the way from the 101 to the stack, that's going to take you a little over 15 minutes just overall in the yellow. Let's take a look at the 17, a deeper look at it right now. Actually looking fantastic as of this morning. You're hovering around 50 miles an hour if you're going from Peoria Ave all the way to 7th Ave and then the stack to the split. Things are looking pretty good. How about the East Valley, though? You guys have been in green pretty much the entire morning, except for the 60 West. There was a small stretch of time where you guys were in the yellow. However, everybody hovering around the mid-60s when it comes to miles per hour. So if you are heading west from the East Valley, you guys are looking fantastic.
Just a couple of days before the World Cup, Team Turkey is actually training in Mesa. Tonight, their national soccer squad going to practice in front of a sold-out crowd. Our David Chasnoff, he's joining us now live from the Arizona Athletic Grounds, where the players will be this evening. David, I could not believe how quickly those tickets went, and they're free.
Yeah, they are free. The Arizona Athletic Grounds, they posted those free tickets to their website about 2 weeks ago, and those tickets, all of them sold out in less than 2 hours. So it really just shows you how excited Arizona soccer fans are here across the valley. Speaking of the Athletic Grounds, one employee here spoke with our Tram Mai last week, telling her how stoked he is to host Team Turkey. Take a look.
It's a big opportunity for us to put Arizona Athletic Grounds on the world stage. You know, the World Cup probably doesn't come around in our lifetimes again at this part of the world. And yeah, like really proud to be able to be part of it, and Arizona Athletic Grounds to be sort of front and center.
Yeah, it really is an awesome opportunity. So Mesa City leaders are hyped about this too. They posted some pictures online welcoming Team Turkey to the city, which you're seeing here. Now, even if you didn't get a ticket for the open practice tonight, you can still join in on the fun. There's going to be a free event here from 5 to 7 p.m. where you can enjoy authentic Turkish food, ice cream, and play some soccer games. David Hayes tells 12 News it took a lot of hard work to host the Turkish club.
It's been a 2-year process. It's not been overnight. We sent that application in a couple of years ago, and a lot of waiting and to see what happens.
Yeah, thankfully that moment is finally here. And before the World Cup begins, Phoenix Rising FC is getting the word out about 5 watch parties they're hosting across the valley, the last one being the World Cup final in July. But they will have events for all 3 U.S. men's national team matches with player appearances from Phoenix Rising FC and some giveaways too. So make sure to check that out. But also this Friday, Tempe Marketplace will host a giant outdoor big screen watch party there, where they're going to show the U.S. game versus Paraguay at 6 p.m. So a lot in store here, but before those games begin, Team Turkey is training here in Mesa, getting ready for their match on Saturday, which is going to be in Vancouver, British Columbia, against Australia in the Group D stage. We're in Mesa. David Chasnoff, 12 News, today in AZ.
The music of the night is returning to the Valley. Tickets for the new North American tour of Phantom of the Opera, they go on sale today, 11 a.m. for their upcoming run at ASU Gamage. The iconic Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. It will open the 2026-2027 Broadway season with a 3-week engagement from September 16th through October 4th. Season subscriptions are also still available, with 9 additional Broadway shows scheduled to visit Tempe this season. Oh gosh, what a treat. And to have that right here, amazing. Hey, don't forget, Today in AZ expands exclusively on the 12 News 24/7 streaming app from 7 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Here's a look at what's coming up in just a couple of minutes here. Thousands of Arizonans dropping health coverage under the Affordable Care Act, and new numbers show a sharp decline in enrollment. Our Tori King, she's breaking down what's driving the change and what it could mean for care all across our state. Plus, have you seen the videos? President Trump, he sat down with NBC's Meet the Press over the weekend, but the interview quickly turned tense and ended quite abruptly. So coming up at 8:30, our Justin Pizzeri, he's going to share the key moments from the exchange and a very surprising step forward between these two. That's coming up. Also, how Arizona leaders, including Senator Mark Kelly, are responding this morning. Hey, Troy.
Hey, good morning, Emma. Hey, if you have that 9 to 5 job, maybe you're about to head out the door, maybe you're a little bit late. Who knows, right? I want to give you your drive times right now, especially if you're in the West Valley or maybe in the northern part of the valley, trying to get closer to downtown Phoenix. Just know the 10 East, 17 South, you're going to be in the yellow. Going to be about a 15-minute drive as you head towards downtown Phoenix. And then really quick, how about the 101 if you're trying to go over to Scottsdale? You guys are all in the green if you are heading north.
All right, we want to thank you for streaming Today in AZ on the 12 News streaming app this morning. We're going to be right back with a look at your weather impact forecast live on 12 News in 2 minutes. See you then.
12 News Weather Impact is sponsored by Goody Garage Doors. Goody, we fix garage doors for good.
Across America, extraordinary stories are unfolding. Neighbors helping neighbors. Everyday people making an incredible difference. Stories of generosity. Stories of resilience. Stories that remind us who we are. Experience these inspiring stories with America's 250. Red, White, and You.
Red, White, and You. America's 250 is sponsored by Semper Fi Heating and Cooling, proudly supporting the spirit of community service and the stories that connect us.
Arizona Midday, making the trip to places across the valley, taking you to events everywhere in Arizona, showcasing the latest in entertainment, restaurants, and overall lifestyle. Daily, starting at 2 o'clock.
Big hats, have fun. Exactly. She said it's ideal for bachelorette parties, girls' day.
Arizona Midday, exciting, fun, informative.
Good Monday morning. I'm Emma Jade. Let's catch you up on your top stories today. We begin with an update on a deadly shooting in San Diego involving an Arizona couple. The baby, who was born in an emergency C-section after their mother was shot and killed, has now died. According to police, the baby's mother, who you saw there, 17-year-old Jariah Edwards, was shot and killed outside a short-term rental property in San Diego by her boyfriend, 21-year-old Trayvon Williams. He appeared in court last week, pleading not guilty to murder. Now that the newborn has died, Williams could face an additional murder charge. 2 people in the hospital after crashing into a home in Phoenix. This happened last night in a neighborhood near 19th Avenue and Glendale. A woman is in critical condition while a man was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Not clear what led up to this, if impairment is a factor yet. Thankfully, no one inside the home was injured. And 2 people are hurt after police say an elderly woman crashed her car into a Dollar Tree store. This is in Peoria. This happened yesterday near 83rd Avenue and Deer Valley after the driver had a medical emergency. 2 employees, they were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Let's talk about your forecast. 8:30 in the morning, 85 degrees, Ginge. We're going to miss those 80s in the mornings, aren't we?
For sure. I mean, you know what happens next month. We wake up to 90 degrees. It feels like an oven outside. So yes, at least right now, we're still getting some manageable conditions in the morning. We are warming up to numbers that are slightly above our normal range. Still, I mean, low to modest triple digits this time of the year. You know, 115 is the potential. So I'll take 105. Now, we do have some wind to talk about, especially in the higher elevations. Wind speeds over 25, possibly 30 miles an hour. This is triggering a red flag warning. We're going to have it today and tomorrow. Heightened concern about fire danger. Otherwise, temperatures, yep, we're warming up into the weekend.
Cars have become so technologically advanced nowadays that some of them will even drive themselves. But when the battery goes dead, we're still using the same jumper cables that were invented back in the 1960s. Jumper cables, they're intimidating, and they can be dangerous. So what do? This is called the Miro Auto Jump Starter. Lightweight, compact, but amazingly powerful, 1,500 cranking amps. That means your battery gets charged and you're on the road in seconds. Not waiting for roadside assistance, not waiting for a good Samaritan. All you do is hook it up. It will then tell you what percentage of battery life, and then with this green light, you go in, turn the key, and you're on the road again. If you hook it up backwards, don't do that with jumper cables. It'll warn you with a warning sound and give you a red light, and then all you do is simply switch it to the proper polarity and you're ready to go. You also have a USB port to charge your phone and a nice flashlight on this as well, so that now you're prepared. Every car should have it. Retail value is $80. Our deal price is $59.99. That's 25% off. Check out the QR code or check us out at shoptvdeals.com.
Happy Monday. Thanks for watching 12 News Today in AZ, live for you on the 12 News 24/7 streaming app. I'm Emma Jade. Listen, it's hot right now, but boy, oh boy, we're going to be wishing that we had 105 on the board. We're checking in with meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. Ginge, are we looking at record breaking towards the end of the week or no?
We're getting closer, but I don't think we're going to snap any records. How disturbing is that we're actually looking forward to 105 compared to, the potential for us this time of the year? And the other upside, very different than what we'll see next month, is temperatures are still so nice and mild in the morning. I mean, 85 is mild when you see where we're headed, folks. We've got 62 right now in Flagstaff, 80 in Kingman, about 81 in Tucson, and 70 in Show Low. Across Arizona, yes, temperatures are up. The wind is responding. Hot, dry air blasting through the region. That means we've got a heightened concern over fire danger as well. But temperature-wise, okay, 101 in Tucson, 104 in Havasu, 83 at the Grand Canyon. Yes, we're above the normal range, but I mean, not by much. Okay, Safford is 8 degrees above the normal range. But all in all, I mean, we are pretty much considered normal for now. After the winds taper off, and you still see we've got wind in the works for you this afternoon up to about 30 miles an hour. Well, when the wind goes down, the temperatures start climbing. We are edging closer and closer to that 110-degree marker. I think we're going to be there this weekend, along with a little bit of rain moving through. Yeah, I'm going to break it all down coming up my full forecast. Troy.
Hey, we're taking a look at one of the slower parts of the valley right now, and to be honest with you, it is not that bad. So this is the 10 heading east near 51st Ave. We got reports that there could be some sort of accident in the area. Oh, actually, take a look at this. Yeah, one of the lanes, maybe two of the lanes, getting stalled up right now, hitting that bumper-to-bumper traffic. So that is super unfortunate. Let's take a look at some of those drive times before you head out the door. Maybe you're heading on over to work. From the 101 to the Stack, it's going to be a 12-minute drive. You're going to be just under 50 miles an hour. And the same thing for the 17 South if you haven't heading towards downtown Phoenix. However, most of the area is still looking relatively green. So we take a look at your East Valley drive times right now. My goodness, you guys are perfect. Keep going green, East Valley. That's the role model everybody should look up to. So I'll have even more drive times for you in a couple of minutes.
Okay, Troy, thank you so much. We've got some new data to talk about. It shows thousands of Arizonans are no longer actively enrolled in Affordable Care Act health plans, which is surprising, right? Because where are they going? Experts say rising costs may be driving some people away from coverage altogether, raising concerns about what that could mean. So, Tori, you've been looking into these numbers for us. What do they say? What do these numbers show us? And what does this mean for Arizonans?
Well, these numbers are actually a little concerning. They have dropped over the past 2 years. So you said it earlier, more than 50,000 Arizonans who signed up for Affordable Care Act plans this year, well, they're no longer actively enrolled. The health policy experts say that could have long-term consequences for our state. So according to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, more than 357,000 Arizonans selected ACA plans by that January deadline, but state data shows just over 306,000 people were actively fully enrolled by the March 1st deadline after paying their first premium. That's 50,000 people less than we know the people who signed up, and maybe it was because they couldn't pay. People could change their mind. Maybe they found employer coverage, or even folks who couldn't afford the premium once they saw the bill. Those are all some reasons why experts are saying they could have dropped this coverage. Experts do also say higher premiums, higher deductibles, and even the loss of enhanced federal subsidies could all be contributing to this decline. Now, the decline looks even larger when compared to last year. State data shows more than 121,000 fewer Arizonans are actively enrolled in the ACA plans than they were at this exact moment last year. Experts say it's still pretty unclear whether people who left their ACA plans actually found other coverage or if they're just now living without insurance. But they do warn this decline could actually have broader consequences for our state and state's healthcare system. Some health policy experts fear more people could become uninsured if enrollment continues to fall. They say that could lead to more uncompensated care, meaning that hospitals as well as the providers may end up treating more patients who are unable to pay for their care. Experts say they're also watching upcoming changes to AHCCS. Beginning in 2027, some recipients will need to show that they're working at least 80 hours a month or at least participating in some other qualifying activity like job training or even an education program to maintain their coverage. Now, they're also having to renew their coverage twice a year. Before this, they only had to do it once. Health policy experts say those changes, combined with declining ACA enrollment, could all lead to more Arizonans losing health coverage in the future. For more information, or if you'd like to see the state data, just head to our website, 12news.com. We'll have it all there. Reporting live in studio, I'm Tori King, 12 News Today in AZ.
Yeah, definitely concerning numbers. Tori, thank you so much. It is 8:38, and it's going viral. You've probably seen some of the clips from President Trump's latest Meet the Press interview, turned into a full-on clash with moderator Kristen Welker. Well, the president cut the interview short after Welker started to press him on some questions. So what questions are they? Well, our Justin Becerra is in studio with us this morning with more on what actually did come out of this interview and what happened after the president walked out. Something that surprised me, Justin, will probably surprise people at home too.
I know, especially after you see the exchange. Yes. Yeah, the president and Welker, they've sat down for these kind of interviews before. That was nothing new, but this one in particular was very different. So they were about 35 minutes into this interview, and the president clearly got angry with some of Welker's questions. So they were talking about the now abandoned anti-weaponization fund, and then the president claims that the elections in California, which they're still counting those ballots, he believes it's rigged.
That's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in California.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
really.
Let's
well,
continue.
You play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Well, the president eventually took the mic off right there and said he was done with the interview. So Welker repeatedly did ask him to stay. She said she flew all the way to Wisconsin to do this interview. He didn't care. He got up, he walked out. But before all of that, remember, this was a pretty long interview. The president did talk about the war in Iran. Since that interview was taped last Friday, Iran did launch multiple missiles at Israel. The president did say during that interview, though, that they are close to a deal. He also said the Iranian government has conceded the fact that they will not have nuclear weapons. He still wants more out of that deal, though. The president also said the Federal Reserve should lower interest rates. The latest jobs report, he was touting that because it was better than a lot of people expected. On June the 16th and the 17th, officials are going to be meeting and deciding what to do with interest rates. So we will have to see what comes out of that meeting. That interview, though, was taped last Friday. The president and Welker talked on Saturday, and he did agree for another sit-down interview. That has not been announced when that is going to air just yet, but a very interesting interview there, Emma. And what was interesting as well, you could kind of hear it in the background. It was raining.
Yes, I was wondering what that was.
It was rain, and it was raining so hard during that interview at some points they had to stop and then pick the interview back up. So, yeah, it was interesting on a lot of fronts there.
I'll say, and the fact that he agreed to another interview.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what comes out of that interview.
I know. Imagine how uncomfortable. Right?
You know what? She just handles it so well.
She does.
Yeah.
She does. All right, Justin, thank you so much. Hey, parents and caregivers, big heads up here. Target is recalling its Up and Up fragrance-free and cucumber-scented baby wipes due to possible bacterial contamination. Take a look. The major retailer says it's received several complaints of eye and skin irritation, as well as some infections associated with the use of these wipes. So like we said, take a good look, send it to your friends and family. FDA testing has revealed the presence of a bacteria that may result in serious and in some cases life-threatening infections in babies and young children. So the impacted wipes have expiration dates between May 10th through November 5th, 2028. You got to stop using these immediately and return them to Target. You can get a full refund. Here's a look at what's coming up in just 2 minutes. The NBA Finals shift to New York tonight with the Knicks looking to take a commanding lead. Plus, a high-profile guest list is bringing extra attention and extra security to Madison Square Garden. And a free night of ballet here in the Valley. Southwest Youth Ballet Theater, bringing new dances and classical favorites to the stage in a special end-of-season performance. And they want to see you there. We're going to show you what you can expect and how you can snag some tickets. Stick with us. Your weather impact forecast and more of your top local news headlines coming up in 2 minutes. We'll see you then. New York City is about to become the center of the basketball universe. Have you guys seen these ticket prices? Game 3 of the NBA Finals happening today at Madison Square Garden. Knicks have a 2-0 series lead over the Spurs after sneaking away with a win on Friday night. President Donald Trump is expected to attend tonight, along with New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, but they will not be sitting together. Security is going to be tight for this game.
Well, I'll be going to Game 3. I guess it's Game 3 on Monday. I thought it was amazing. I think the Knicks have an amazing team. The way they played, started off slow, and it just got stronger and stronger. Wemby looks like he's going to be a great player, but they really played well.
Well, who's your favorite Knick?
Well, Brunson's fantastic. Towns is fantastic. They just have a great team.
Well, believe it or not, the last time the Knicks were in the finals, 1999. And the last time they won a championship, well, gosh, that was in 1973. People are jazzed for this. But you know what? One of the Knicks players spoke out about how expensive those tickets are, Ginge, as we send things over to you.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
$180,000?
Who's paying that?
Wait, for the most expensive ticket?
That's what, yeah.
Okay.
Those are the most expensive. But the cheapest ones are like in the $7,000 range.
On Friday night, the cheapest one they could find was something around $17,000.
I mean, get real.
That is ridiculous.
Get real. That's how much I made at my first job.
Exactly. But you know, that's life in New York, I guess. It's monopoly money. That's what I tell myself. It's just monopoly money when you go to New York. Parking is what, $120 an hour?
Get out of town.
It's just wild. And that's just normal stuff. All right. We do have some severe weather coming in. We've got a red flag warning today and tomorrow for the northern tier of the state. This is because, humidity levels so low, 5 to 15%, and the winds are going to get up to 35 miles an hour today, even stronger velocity tomorrow. So it's not just Arizona, it's this entire region because, if a wildfire sparks, it is just going to run in conditions like this, especially when you add in those gusty winds. So heightened concern today and tomorrow. This is a hot, dry wind, so our temperatures are going to stay up. This time of the year, 103 is the normal range, so we're a little bit elevated, but we're not in record territory, at least not yet. As far as the numbers go, we are seeing a strong wind element and a high temperature element. Now, the strongest winds will be this afternoon. I'm talking about after about noon hour, really peaking in the 3 o'clock hour, but by 7:30, it looks like the wind speeds are really going to deteriorate down into the single digits before again ramping up tomorrow, because we're going to see round 2 tomorrow. So the bottom line, sunny and dry. Highs at 105 degrees today, 77 tonight. It's going to be nice and clear, and then look for some changes on the horizon. First of all, our temperatures are ramping up. I think by the time we get into the weekend, we're looking for about 110, but higher elevations, what's this? We've got an opportunity, I know, very low confidence, but an opportunity for some showers developing on Saturday and Sunday in the higher elevations. I think the best opportunity will be the White Mountains on Saturday. So it's still a long range forecast. I'll keep you posted every day, but because that moisture, temperatures in the higher elevations will start coming down. Meantime, for you and me, we're looking for those numbers to get up to about 109, which, I know it's elevated. It's not record territory, and it's going to continue, unfortunately. But hey, monsoon, it's just around the corner. If you want to stay up to date on our live Doppler radar, we're going to have that on our streaming app 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just scan that QR code right now. Troy?
Soon is coming. All right, Ginger, thanks so much. Hey, we're going to take a look at this one crash that unfortunately killed a woman earlier this morning, and that has closed down Grand Ave in both directions. Believe it or not, this happened just before 4 a.m., and it is still closed down right here. This is really close to Myrtle Ave, and so the closure is pretty extensive. So here's how you can get around it if you are heading through the area. So you can take either Bethany Home or Northern Ave, and if you were trying to get back onto Grand Ave, you can take either 51st Ave or 67th Ave there. Going to take you a few extra minutes, but hey, at least you can get around it somehow. We're taking a look around the valley. My goodness, rush hour, almost over. Things are a lot more green than what we saw maybe about a half an hour ago. We're taking a look at the 51 right over here. A couple of crashes, however, they have been pushed off to the side. It has not affected traffic in any way, so that is really good. However, there is this one crash that looks like it just popped up really close to that 10 and 202 interchange. That's around 43rd Ave. As you can see, lots of yellow in that area already before the crash, but here are your drive times. The 10 East, believe it or not, in the green right now before 9 a.m. Hey, that is a win. Going to take you a little over 10 minutes going from the 101 to the stack. And then the 17 South from Peoria Ave to 7th Ave, you'll be just over 40 miles an hour. That's going to take you a little less than 20 minutes to get there. And then really quickly, how about this? East Valley drive times, my goodness. Do you even need me to say it? You guys are in the green. Have a fantastic Monday, everybody. Emma?
All right, Troy, thank you. East Valley, way to go. Hey, right now, Southwest Youth Ballet Theater inviting you, everyone, to its free end-of-season show. It's called Celebration. It's happening this week at the Tempe Center for the Arts, which is just fantastic to be around anyway. And it's completely free and free parking. We are joined now by Hannah Hawkersmith. Hannah, you danced here. So obviously you are very invested in this ballet theater, which is a pre-professional. Is that what it is?
Yes, it's a pre-professional ballet company in Chandler, Arizona. So we serve 13 to 18-year-old dancers who aspire for a career in ballet.
That is incredible. So this show is like going to a professional show. Tell me about Celebration.
Yeah, Celebration is really amazing because it's our annual free performance that we hold at the end of the season every year. So it has excerpts from classical ballets, and then we also have new choreographic works by local and national choreographers. Wow. Yeah, so it's a really fun performance. There's also guest artists that are professional dancers, and yeah, it's just a really amazing opportunity for people who have never experienced ballet before. It's a really great first step into ballet.
Give me the logistics of it all. How long is the show? You said parking is free. Do I need to reserve a ticket online? How does that all work?
Yes, so though it's free, you do have to reserve your ticket, and you can get that at TempeCenterForTheArts.com. It is completely free. Parking will be validated by the venue. And it's an hour and a half. It starts at 7 and it goes to 8:30 with an intermission in between.
This is fantastic. And these are local dancers, teenage dancers who would love to have the community support, but also it's really interesting to get behind some of these dancers and then continue to follow their careers, right?
Yes, yeah, we're so proud of them. Their dedication throughout this whole season has been amazing, and they've been working on some of these pieces since the very beginning of our season in August. So we're really excited to see them on stage and just show off all of their, power and just amazing ability on stage.
I mean, power is right. Ballet is one of those things where you cannot believe, the jumps, the spins, everything. It's unbelievable. When you look at how good you guys are, I mean, pre-professional company, well, how do you put your kid on track for something like that? If people come and they're watching, they have little kids who might be interested in that, how do you put them in the right position to maybe join something like this?
Yeah, so obviously, like if you want to have, since we start at 13 years old, usually we do take in students who do already have ballet training. So I would start at a ballet school or competition studio, wherever, get that dance training in, and then you can audition for our company. We just held that just last week. However, we do have Nutcracker auditions in a few months. So then they can be part of our Nutcracker, which is really fun. They start at age 7. So they can kind of dip their toes more into ballet and have a full ballet production.
Why did you guys keep this dance and this celebration free for the community? Why was that important to you guys? Because you rarely hear free anymore.
Yeah. Well, we are a nonprofit, and so we really want to give back to the community, and it's just our way of saying thank you for supporting us and supporting our dancers. That's one of our, biggest things that we look for in our company, and being able to share new choreography and our dancers' talents with the community and having their support. And we also want more people to get into ballet. So it's a really great place for families, young kids, or anyone who maybe hasn't experienced ballet, and they don't have to be scared to come see this show. It's a very easy show to come see and enjoy, see if you like ballet, and then go from there.
It's fantastic. And again, completely free and free parking, which is just like unheard of.
I know.
As we close things out, where's the best place to get all the information that we need?
You can get tickets at TempeCenterForTheArts.com. Great. Completely free. You just need to reserve your ticket. And it's this Friday, June 12th at 7 p.m.
Look, what a treat for everyone here in the community. Thank you so much, Hannah, for coming on. And I hope it's going to be a great show. I can't wait to see all the pictures and everything. Thank you for streaming Today in AZ on the 12 News 24/7 streaming app. We're going to be right back with a look at your very warm weather impact forecast. Listen, summer is here, and Ginger has a warm-up that's hitting later this week. We'll see you in 2 minutes.
Camping, sightseeing, seeking adventure. Rediscover Arizona every Tuesday on Arizona Midday and Wednesday on 12 News as we take you to the hidden gems that make our state so unique and unforgettable. Sponsored by Earnhardt Auto Center, celebrating 75 years of no bull.
Good Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries with a look at your forecast. All right, we haven't even hit 9 o'clock and we're already at 88 degrees. Yes, it is going to be a warm one, folks, but it's not going to be record territory. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. And unfortunately, today, going to be the coolest day of the week. And I'm still talking about numbers up to about 105. So to manage the heat, try to limit your outdoor exposure, especially between 2 to 7. I think that's when we're in the triple digits. Before that, we've got 80s and 90s on the board, so double digits until about 2 o'clock. Around the valley, your forecast highs look like this: 103 in Glendale, about 104 in Sun Lakes, 99 in Fountain Hills, and 103 for Mesa. The most severe weather element today will be the strong wind in the higher elevations. Because it is so gusty and it's abundantly dry, we do have a red flag warning today and tomorrow for the northern tier of the state, and then numbers will be warming. We're approaching that 110 marker for the weekend. We also have a little bit of moisture moving on through. Scattered pop-up thunderstorms expected in the higher terrain. Don't cancel your plans. Just be ready for a little bit of a speed bump on Saturday night.